Hey everyone, so welcome to the another video of this playlist, financial planning. In this video, we'll be discussing two more questions from Unit 1. In the previous video, we have discussed two important questions from Unit 1, the basic one. The first one was discuss the significance of financial planning and globally accepted principles of financial planning process. And the second one was define financial planning process and elaborate the journal principle of cash flow planning. So before watching today's video, if you haven't watched the first one, please go and do watch the first video of the playlist. And please do subscribe the channel and hit the like button. So let's move to the third question of this video. Discuss the life cycle approach of financial planning and how does it lead to varied freedom of financial domain. So, the life cycle approach of financial planning focuses on different stage of an individual's life and their evolving financial needs, goals, and capacities at each stage. This approach takes into account that as people progress through various life phases, their income, expenses, responsibilities, and financial objectives change, influencing their financial planning and decision making processes. The life cycle is typically broken down into distinct phases, which we are going to discuss here. The very first is early career, that is 20s to early 30s, mid career 30s to 50s, pre retirement 50s to 60s, and retirement 60s and beyond. So let's start with the first one, early career 20s to early 30s. So the base will be we're going to discuss the characteristics, financial focus, and freedom of financial domain. Then the characteristics of this is usually the starting phase of financial independence. People in this stage are building their careers, often have lower incomes, and may face high expenses related to lifestyle, education loans, and starting a family. The focus at this point, individual focus on building an emergency funds, managing student loan, starting retirement savings, that is where investment or retirement plans or pension schemes. Risk taking ability is usually high, leading to more aggressive investment. Freedom of financial domain. Limited freedom due to lower saving and higher liabilities, but significant freedom for risk taking in investment. The second is mid career, that is from 30s to 50s. So, characteristics of this is income tends to peak during this year, but so do the financial responsibilities such as home ownership, children's education, and healthcare needs. The focus is on wealth accumulation, securing insurance, that is life, health, assets insurance, and planning for their children's future. The financial focus shifts towards tax planning, investment diversification, and long term financial stability. Moderate increased freedom due to rising income and wealth, but with major commitment like family and loans, which can constrain flexibility. Then comes the pre-retirement era, that is from 50s to 60s. People nearing retirement often aim to consolidate their wealth. Expense may shift towards health, care, and saving more aggressively for retirement. Their focus moved towards preserving accumulated wealth, reducing debt, ensuring retirement, revisiting financial goals to ensure sustainability through retirement. And the freedom of financial domain can be higher if planning has been successful, and the focus on lower investment may limit high rewards. And the fourth phase is a retirement, that is 60s and beyond. So income typically shift from active employment to passive source such as retirement accounts or pensions or investments. So this phase is about maintaining a stable income stream through conservative investment, controlling healthcare expenses, and estate planning. The freedom is mainly in managing retirement assets to ensure they last through life expectancy. However, the ability to take risk or make major financial changes is limited. So these are the four phases of like life cycle: early, early career age, middle career, pre-retirement, and retirement time. Now see how the life approach cycle leads to varied freedom in the financial domain. So the very first point that we're gonna discuss is the risk tolerance. Like in earlier stages, individual have higher risk tolerance, allowing more aggressive investment. Or later on, in later stages, financial planning shift towards wealth preservations, leading to lower risk investment and constrained financial freedom in terms of portfolio flexibility. Spending and saving flexibility. Early in life, with fewer liabilities, there is more discretionary income for personal spending. However, as people move through mid career and pre retirement, the spending becomes more constrained by responsibilities like loans, children's education, and healthcare. Time horizon. Younger individuals can afford long term investment like equities, and providing more freedom to leverage the power of compounding. And as retirement approaches, time horizons shrink, reducing flexibility in investment strategies. Dependence on passive income. Post retirement people highly heavily on rely heavily on savings and investment to cover expenses, reducing the ability to take financial risk or make significant purchase. So this was about the life cycle approach leads to varied freedom in financial domain. So risk tolerance, as we grow, the tolerant level cut, cut, cut. So this was about cut. So this was about life cycle approach leads to varied freedom in financial domain in respect to risk tolerance, spending and saving flexibility, time horizon, or dependence on passive income. So the life cycle approach is a dynamic process that recognizes the changing nature of financial priorities and capabilities, thus creating varied degrees of financial freedom across different stages of life. So, in this question, we were asked about the life cycle approach and the freedom that leads to, and how does it lead to varied freedom of financial domain. So, there was basically four stages of life cycle: the early career, mid career, pre-retirement, and retirement, and how it leads to financial domain freedom. Then we also discuss this in respect to risk tolerance, spending, saving flexibility, time horizon, and dependence on passive income. So, moving to the next question, that is, discuss the avenues available to create wealth from minor saving generating continuous investment in case of both risk averse and risk seekers. So, this is one of the most important topics from Unit 1 to discuss the various alternatives available as a risk averse and a risk seeker person. So let's discuss this one by one. So creating wealth for minor saving can be powerful way to build long-term financial security, especially when continuous investment are made over time. For both risk averse and risk seeking individuals, there are different investment avenues available to grow wealth, each with varying levels of risk return potential. And let's explore these avenues based on their risk tolerance. So for the people who have low risk tolerance, which are called as risk averse investors, they people prioritize safety and stability over high returns. They seek investment that offer a predictable return and minimize the chance of losing their principal investment. So let's discuss the avenues suitable for risk averse investors. So the very first one and the basic is fixed deposit, that is FDs, a popular low risk saving option where money is deposited in bank for a fixed period, earning a guaranteed interest rate. So the benefit is that the return is guaranteed and safety of capital, and it's a predictable income. The wealth creation potential, ideal for small but steady savings, especially if invested in cumulative FDs where interest is reinvested, allowing for compounding. The risk level is very low in FDs. Now, the second avenue available for low risk taker is Public Provident Fund, that is PPF. So it's a government backed long term saving scheme that offers tax benefit and compounded annual interest. So the benefit is it's tax free interest and long term wealth creation and safe investment, of course. Now, the PPF is ideal for those looking to build wealthy slowly but steady over a long term with minimal risk. So risk level is again extremely low because it's government backed also. So the next avenue for a low risk taker is government bond and saving bonds. So these are the bonds issued by the government or quasi government bodies that offer a fixed rate of interest over a specific term. So the benefit for choosing government bonds and saving bond can be it's like safe, low risk with fixed return. So the wealth creation is regular interest payment can be reinvested, helping to accumulate wealth over time. Again, the risk level is low as government bonds are considered almost risk free. Now the fourth is a debt mutual fund. These funds invest in fixed income securities such as corporate bonds, government bonds, and money market instrument. The benefit is it's like moderate return, safer than equity funds, and more liquid than FDs. Generates higher return than saving account or FDs with relatively low risk, but returns are not guaranteed. Now the risk level is low to moderate. Now recurring deposit RDs are another avenues for low risk taker. It's a small saving plan where fixed monthly installment are deposited and the bank offers a fixed rate of interest. Benefit is it encourages disciplined saving with a predictable interest rate, and wealth creation potential is suitable for creating a small corpse over time with guaranteed return. The risk level is again very low in RDs. And the next one is NSC, National Saving Certificates. It's again a government backed saving bond that encourages individual to save while earning a fixed return. Benefit is like it's a fixed return and tax benefit under section 80C. Wealth creation, a good option for steady wealth creation over 5 to 10 years, and again the risk level is very low. So these were the avenues available for low risk takers. Now moving to the second part of this question, that is high risk seeking investors, high risk tolerance. So risk seekers are willing to take higher risk in exchange for potentially higher returns. Now the investment alternatives that is suited to risk tolerant individuals are mentioned here. So let's discuss one by one. Very first is equity mutual fund. So these funds pool money to invest in stocks of companies across different sectors. They have high returns over the long term through capital appreciation, high growth potential if the stock market performs well, and systematic investment plans, that is SIPs, allow small investment to be made regularly, leading to compounding over time. The risk level here is high as stock market volatility impacts return. Now the second option available is direct equity investment, that is stocks, buying shares of a company directly on the stock exchange. It have high returns if the company performs well and potential for capital gains and dividend. Now the direct exposure to the stock market can generate substantial wealth over long term, but it requires thorough research and knowledge of the market. The risk level is high with significant short term volatility. Now the third option available is exchange traded fund, ETFs. ETFs track indices like Nifty 50 or Sensex, offering diversified exposure to the stock market. Now the benefit is lower cost than mutual funds, diversification and ease of trading like stocks. So the wealth creation potential is long-term wealth creation potential through capital appreciation as overall market grows. Risk level is moderate to high depending on market fluctuations. Now the fourth option available is cryptocurrency. So it's a digital currencies like Bitcoin and other altcoins traded on decentralized platform. The benefit is potential for extremely high returns due to market volatility and newness. Cryptocurrencies have provided enormous returns in some cases, though they are highly speculative and require constant market monitoring. Risk is very high as the market is highly volatile and still evolving. Now, the fifth one is commodities like gold, silver, etc. Investing in physical commodities like silver, gold, or in commodities through future and option markets. Benefit is hedge against inflation and currency devaluation. Gold has traditionally been a store of value, and commodities can offer high returns during period of inflation or economic uncertainty. The risk level is moderate to high depending on the market cycle. Now, the last one here is real estates or direct investment, investing in property, land, homes, commercial properties, or through real estate investment trust, REITs. Now, the benefit is long term capital appreciation and rental income. Wealth creation potential. Real estate can generate significant wealth over time through capital gain and passive income, though it requires substantial initial investment. The risk level can be high for direct investment due to liquidity issue, moderate for REITs due to market risk. Now, the key strategies to maximize wealth creation, we have divided into points. That is, first one is systematic investment plans, that is SIPs, diversification, reinvestment of your returns, and long-term horizon. The first one is SIP for both risk averse and risk seeking individuals. SIPs and mutual funds allow minor continuous investment leading to compounding over time. Even with small saving pools, disciplined investment can create significant wealth in long term. By diversification, a mix of different asset classes can help manage risk. For instance, risk averse investors can combine FDs with mutual funds, while risk seekers can combine equities with commodities or real estate. Reinvestment of your returns. Reinvesting your interest, dividend, or profit leads to compounding, helping to grow wealth faster. Long term horizon. Longer investment horizons typically reduce the impact of short term market volatility and allow the power of compounding to take effect. So, in this video, we have discussed the two main topics and questions of Unit 1. The first one was about a life cycle approach, and the second we did is different investment alternatives available for high risk tolerance and low risk tolerance. So this is all for this video. Please do like the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you.